Last year, Burnley got promoted to the Premier League after winning the Championship outright. But the new season hasn't gone to plan so far for them, as right now they are in the bottom three. Now, Vince and company has done a tremendous job with them, but I think I know someone who's a little bit better suited for the job. That's right, boys. Today, I am becoming the new Burnley manager, and by the end of this video, I'll be making them the best team in the world. So this is the starting 11 we've loaded into, and Jesus Christ, we've got some work to do. Two of our highest rated players are currently on loan to us right now, so that's not a good start straight away. But in fairness to Burnley, this team isn't that old at all. Obviously, it's got a couple of old players, but not too many. And we do have some good players like striker Zeki Amdouni, left winger Anas Zarori, and of course our centre-back Jordan Baye. So in fairness, after properly looking at the team, I wouldn't say this Burnley squad's that bad after all. Now, the tactical vision I'm going for is tiki-taka. Company's got them playing some decent football, and whilst it might not be working yet, I do want to keep this going, so I want them to play tiki-taka. But after properly sorting the team out, this is probably the strongest starting 11 we can rock with, but still, boys, it's not good enough to be in the Prem. And we've only got a measly 28 million in our budget. We're going to have to be very tactical with who we bring in. Now, I'd love to bring Mark Trezor in on a permanent deal. The only problem is his market value is 17 million. I'm pretty sure if we bring him into the team, it'll blow all of our budget. Plus, when we've got Anas Zarori in the team, who's only 22 years old, 74 rated, this guy turned into a beast in FIFA 23 for us, so I'm hoping for more of the same here. But looking at the team, I really just want to focus on this defence, man. If we strengthen this up a little bit, we may stand a chance of surviving the Prem. This means bringing a better centre-back in than Al Dakhil and also a better left-back than Taylor. Other than that, boys, I think we've got to leave the team as it is, because 28 million will only go so far. Now, starting with the centre-back, I'm going for Thiago Jallo from Mill. He's only 23 years old, 76 rated. He's not an endgame centre-back by no means, but he'll definitely improve our back four. And because he only had 12 months left on his contract, we got a bargain, only spending 6.65 million to bring him to Burnley. And for the left back role, I'm going for Christian Gunter from Freiburg. He's 30 years old, granted, but he's 79 rated. We need that experience in the back if we're going to survive the Premier League. Well, he cost way more than I anticipated, as we've just spent 15.5 million on him. As well as that, I've sent a whole bunch of players out on loan, because whilst they won't get game time with us, they'll certainly get game time elsewhere, and hopefully they'll come back a better player. But we've only got 2 million left after those signings and sorting everybody's contracts out, so that's our transfer window done. Which means this is the team going into season 1 of the Prem, and honestly, boys, I still aren't convinced we're going to survive it. Granted, we've made massive improvements to the backline, but this is still a very average team for the Premier League. I can't lie, boys, I can definitely see us getting relegated this year, man. I might be very wrong, but who knows what will happen this year. But as we're simulating through season 1, if you wouldn't mind dropping this video a like and hitting that subscribe button, that would be incredible. So we're at the end of May, season 1's wrapped up, so let's go see if we're a Premier League team or a Championship team. Somehow, we've finished 11th in the Premier League, man. I do not understand how we pulled that off, but I'm not knocking it at the same time. We also did make it to round 5 of the FA Cup, losing to Leicester on penalties. And we literally made it to round 2 of the Carabao Cup, getting knocked out by bloody Barnsley. That's the level we're operating at right now. But look at the improvement in this team, man. I've got to say, I'm very pleasantly surprised by how good this team's become over the course of one season. In all things considered, boys, the stats aren't actually too bad at all. Considering at the start of this season, I thought for sure we were going to get relegated, to then finish 11th in the Premier League, I'd say we've had a pretty good season. But next season is the one that counts. We need to make sure we spend all this money that we get wisely and establish Burnley as a Premier League team. So it's now our second year in charge of Burnley, and we've got double our budget from last year, 43 million. We can definitely put that money to good use this season. And looking at the team, boys, there are a couple of areas that I would like to focus that money on. The first one being our Cam Goodmanson. He's 70 overall. I think he's 33 now. He's by a mile the weakest link in the team, and we need somebody better. And I'd love to bring in a better right back than Roberts. That would basically complete our back line. And if we have any money left over, I'd like a new keeper than Mute. Granted, he's 78 rated and he did well for us last year, but imagine if we had a keeper 80 rated plus, man. We'd do so much better. I think once we sort those 3 positions out, we'll once again be absolutely fine surviving the Prem. And not only that, I think we might do a little bit better. And starting with the Cam, I'm going for Luka Avanuset from Feyenoord. He's 78 rated. I believe bringing him into the team will add a bit more creativity going forward. But once again, boys, he certainly wasn't cheap, as we've just spent 20.6 million to bring him to Burnley. As for the right back, I'm going for Tino Livramento from Newcastle United. I know he's only 1 overall better than our current right back, but the potential this guy's got is off the charts. And he actually costs a lot less than I thought he would, as we've only had to spend 14 million on him. And after those signings and renewing everybody's contracts, we've got 2 mil left in our budget, so that's our transfer window done, which means this is the team heading into season 2. And I've got to be honest, boys, whilst we have made 2 very good signings, right now this team is still average at best. We need a better keeper, we need better midfielders, we've still got a long way to go. But having said that, we did finish 11th in the league last year with a far weaker team than this, so who knows how we're going to do in season 2. So boys, it's the 1st of June, it's the end of yet another season, so let's go see how we did. Oh, okay, we just about survived the Premier League by 1 point. Oh my god, Burnley, what the hell happened this year? Somehow we improved the team but do way worse than we did last year with a weaker team. Somebody please explain to me how that works. We got annihilated in round 4 by United in the FA Cup, but we did make it to round 4 of the Carabao Cup, only losing 2-1 to Liverpool. Well, looking at this team, surely to God, we should be nowhere near that relegation zone. In case you lot are wondering, Nathan Redmond joined Braga at some point through this season, man, but you know what? I'm not going to miss him because we've got somebody even better coming back off loan next year. But the stats this year are bloody diabolical. We really need to start playing football next season. There's no way to sugarcoat it. This season has been a massive L. Just about surviving the Prem with the team we've got is abysmal. We seriously need to evaluate what we're doing with this Burnley side, man, because what we're doing right now just isn't working. So it's now our 3rd year in charge of Burnley, and we've got 53 million in the budget, and we've definitely got to spend that a bit more wisely this season. Now, let's be honest, boys, looking at this team, you would not believe it's just about survived the Premier League last year, so we've got to make some improvements. For starters, I'm bringing in better midfielders than Cullen and Burge. I know this may annoy some Burnley fans, but we definitely need to sort this midfield out. And if we have any money left over, I'm bringing a better centre-back in for Bayer because he's the weakest link in that back 4. As for our front 4, we definitely need more goals from them this season. If that doesn't happen next year, we'll be taking action and sorting them out as well. But with 53 million in the budget, we can absolutely sort that midfield out and maybe potentially bring in a better centre-back. And first up, I'm bringing Mohamed Kamara into the team. He's 81 rated within our budget. I think this is an absolute no-brainer. And bringing Kamara to Burnley cost us 23.5 million, which gives us just enough to bring in his midfield partner. And that midfield partner is going to be Christian Aslani from Inter Milan. He's 23 years old, 79 rated. I think him and Mohamed Kamara in that midfield are going to be a nightmare to get past. And that is our transfer window done, as we've spent 23.6 million to bring him to Burnley. And now the team looks like this going into season 3, and with those 2 midfielders added to the team now, I reckon we've actually got a decent chance of doing well in the Prem this time. Obviously, we could do with a better centre-back than Bayer and a better right winger than Manuel, but for now, I'm content with leaving them in the squad. And if you're wondering, Zaroury is the player taking Redmond's place in the team. I've sent him out on loan. He's come back a much better player, and hopefully he can be the difference maker as well. Now, last year, we legitimately just about survived the Premier League. With this team, I'm definitely expecting us to at least get a mid-table finish. So, boys, it's the 1st of June. Season 3 is done, so let's hope to God we've actually done well this year. Boys, we're in Europe next year. We're 6th in the league at the end of this season. How the bloody hell have we done that? I honest to God would have taken a mid-table finish, but European football, that's next level. How do we go from just about surviving the Prem to getting Europa League football the following season, man? That just doesn't make any sense. FC 24, please. We made it to round 5 of the FA Cup before getting knocked out by United, but we only made it to round 2 of the Carabao Cup. Honestly, it swings and roundabouts with domestic cups, isn't it? But look at the team, boys. It is finally starting to take shape. It's about damn time, though, let's be real. And finally, the starts look pretty decent. 21-3 for Amdouni, 15-7 for Zaroury, and 13-5 for Benson Manuel. It took us 3 seasons to figure out this Burnley team, but it's finally bloody happened, and the season we do it, we get European football. I'm just hoping that the budget matches our achievement this year, because without it, I can't see us going that far in the Europa League. So it's now our 4th year in charge of Burnley, and we've got 69 million in our budget. I was hoping for a bit more, but I think I do have a solution to get more money. Look at the squad depth we've got in our reserves, for God's sake. We've got way too many players here, and I think it's about time we offloaded some. Now, obviously, I very rarely do this because, in my opinion, I think it makes it way too easy, but if we're going to get funds, this is the way to do it. And so, after selling all of these players, we've now got just under 100 million to spend, and let me tell you something, we can definitely use that money and put it to good use. We need a better left back than Gunter. Granted, he's been fantastic for us since we brought him in, but now he's entering his mid-30s and we need somebody better. And it's now time to replace Manuel. He's 79 rated. Alongside Gunter, he is one of the weakest links in the team. And if we have any money left over, I want at least one more centre-back to go into this team and a better keeper than Muric. But remember, we do have 97 million, and whilst that is a lot of money, it's not enough to get us all of those positions sorted this season. It started with the wing. I'm going for 84 rated Rafinha. I mean, he's 84 rated. Do I really need to explain that? And he is by a mile our most expensive signing yet, as we've spent bang on 50 million to bring him to Burnley. And for the left back position, I'm going for Villa's Juan Miranda, who's 83 rated. He's only 26 years old as well. He's definitely got a bright future. And that wraps up our transfer window, as we've spent a whopping 37 million to bring him to Burnley. Which means this is the team heading into season 4. And I've got to say, boys, I'm very excited to see what this team can accomplish. Obviously, I'm not expecting this team to go all the way in the Europa League, but with the signings we've made, I've definitely got a feeling we can at least make the knockouts now. And speaking of the Europa League, we're in Group H alongside Lil Dynamo Zagreb and Panathinaikos. Now, I definitely feel like we can get to the knockouts, but if we can make it to the quarterfinals, I would be absolutely buzzing with that. Well, boys, we've just arrived at the end of season 4, and we've got European football once again. We are 7th in the league, and we're in the Conference League next year, as far as I'm aware. Don't get me wrong, I'd love a higher finish, but we've got European football. We can't exactly complain at that. But in the Europa League, we didn't even make it out of Group H. We're in the Conference League. But we did batter Viking in the prelim round, and we go to the round of 16, where we just about get past Inter Milan. And then we absolutely annihilated Mainz in the quarters. And we've annihilated Aberdeen in the semi-finals, boys. We're playing against Chelsea. And we've beaten Chelsea to win the Conference League, man. We're in the Europa League next year anyway after all of that. And somehow our first trophy won with Burnley is the Conference League. But let's be honest, boys. Looking at this team, we should definitely be in the Champions League at this point, not the Europa. And the stats this year are bloody brilliant. 30 goal contributions for Amdouni, 32 for Zarari, and 17 for Rafinha and Ivanusek. I'd say season 4's been a fat W. We've won the Conference League and got top 8 football in the Prem. We've done pretty well this year. But next year we are in the Europa League, so we've got to bolster our team as much as possible, because I definitely want to win that as well. So boys, we're now in season 5 with Burnley, and we've got 134 million in our budget. And if we spend it right, we definitely got a good chance of winning the Europa League. Now, there's 2 positions in this team I have been dying to improve for a long time now. I want to better keep it, the Muric. Granted, he's 81 rated, but if we're going to take the Europa League seriously, we've got to get somebody better. And on top of that, I want a better centre back than Barry. He's 82 rated, the weakest link in that back 4, and I think we need somebody better as well. And if we have any money left over, I wouldn't mind a better attacking midfielder than Ivanusek. If we sort these positions out this season, I'm almost certain that we got the Europa League in the bag. And starting with the keeper, I'm going for 86 rated Unai Simon. I mean, he's literally 5 overall better than Muric, man. We've got to go for him. But the bottle jobs weren't letting him go that easily, as we've just had to spend 45 million on him. As for the centre-back, I'm going for United's Bremer, who's 30 years old, 87 rated, and the best part about this, he's only got 12 months left on his contract. This means we've only had to spend 45 million to bring him to Burnley, and that is an absolute bargain for an 87 rated player. Now, we do still have 35 million to spend. The only problem is that amount of money isn't going to get us a better player than Ivanusek in his position, which means the only way we'll get a better attacking midfielder than him is if we actually sell him to get the funds to bring one in. And after selling him to Bayern Munich for 45 million, we've got 77 million in our budget, and that is more than enough to bring in a suitable replacement. And that's exactly what we're doing by bringing James Maddison to Burnley. He's 86 overall, 30 years old. If this guy plays for us how he does in real life, he will be a game changer. And that's our transfer window wrapped up, as Spurs really didn't want to sell us James Maddison, as we've just had to fork out 68.7 million to bring him to Burnley. And now the team looks like this heading into season 5, and I've got to say, boys, I've got very high expectations for this Burnley team this year. Not only am I now expecting us to win the Europa League, you'd better believe I want to get top 4 in the Prem this year. There's no reason why this team can't get it. And this time in the Europa League, we're in Group F alongside Sporting Copenhagen and Derry City. Now, with the team we've got, we should absolutely smoke this group. I'm definitely expecting us to win the Europa League, man. I'll be very disappointed if we actually don't. Well, boys, we've just finished season 5 with Burnley, and we've won the Premier League on goal difference, man. It was a 3-way title race in the end, but you know what? We bloody did it. But we only made it to round 5 of the FA Cup, losing to Nottingham Forest. And we made it to round 4 of the Carabao Cup before losing to Millwall. It's mental how you can win the Premier League but lose to Millwall in the same season, isn't it? But heading over to the Europa League, as I thought, we absolutely smashed it and we cruised to the knockouts, where we faced Arsenal and actually beat them 2-0. We then went on to absolutely destroy Benfica in the quarters. Boys, this is looking promising. And we've destroyed AC Milan in the semi-finals, and we're playing Liverpool in the final. And the double is secured. We've beaten Liverpool 2-1 in the Europa League final. That's the Conference League we've won. Now it's the Europa League. And looking at the team, boys, I'm really not surprised, man. This is a phenomenal squad. And And the stats this year are bloody amazing. 34-9 for Amdouni, 26-10 for Zarori, 11-6 for Rafinha, and 8-10 for James Maddison. I ain't gonna lie, boys, I'm buzzing, man. We won the Premier League and the Europa League in the same season. There's not many doubles you can get that are more impressive than that. But now we've won the Conference League, we've won the Europa League, now it's time to go for the big one, the Champions League. So, boys, we're now into our 6th year in charge of Burnley. We've got 173 million to spend. I reckon with that kind of money, we stop pulling our punches with the signings. Now, looking at this team, I think there's 2 positions we need to focus that money on. I think it's time we brought a better centre-back in than Jallo because he's the weakest link in that back 4. And I want a better midfielder than Aslani. He's 83 rated, and I think in the Champions League, he'd get torn apart. And yes, boys, you better believe I'm spending all of that money on those 2 positions. And starting with the midfielder, I'm going for Barella from Manchester City. He's 4 ratings higher than Aslani, man. I mean, I can't think of anybody better. And boys, we've just broken our record transfer fee by spending 82.6 million to bring Barella to Burnley. As for the centre-back, I'm going for Ruben Diaz from City. He's 90 overall, and the best part is he's only got 12 months left on his contract. But even with his contract running out, we still had to fork out 62.5 million, meaning our transfer window is done. Which means this is the team going into Season 6, and I'll be honest, boys, we are ready for whatever this year has to throw at us. And the first thing it's throwing at us is the FA Community Shield final against Liverpool, and I actually really fancy our chances against this team. If we could win this game in the first game of the season, oh my god, we actually do as well. Oh, that is fantastic. And we're also facing PSG in the Super Cup final. Now, if we beat these guys, that will be a statement. It'd be something if we could get our 2nd trophy of the season without the season even start. Okay, fair enough. I was getting a little bit ahead of myself. But moving on from the Super Cup, we are in Group E of the Champions League alongside Atalanta, Benfica, and Shakhtar Donetsk. And I honestly see us topping this group relatively easily. The rest of the group will be fighting for 2nd place, but we surely should finish top. So, boys, we've just arrived halfway through the season, and we're 9th in the league, man. From Premier League winners to 9th in the league. Something's just a bit of a mess here, isn't it? But we've absolutely smashed Group E, and we cruise to the round of 16. Someone please explain to me how that works. And so far, the stats are pretty impressive, so honestly, in the Premier League, I don't know where we're going wrong. Now, we do have 12 million in the budget, but that's just not improving this team, so I'm going to leave the transfer window there. Which does mean this is the starting 11 going into the knockouts, and honestly, I cannot see why we're doing so poorly in the Premier League, man. This team is ridiculous. But right now, the Champions League is the priority, and I honestly think whoever we come up against in the knockouts is going to have a serious issue on the hands. And boys, up first in the round of 16 is Frankfurt, and I'm not being funny, we should absolutely demolish these guys. Granted, we are away from him in the first leg, but I think we've got a far superior team. That there we go, a 3-0 victory in the first leg. That is beautiful. We are very comfortable going into the second leg. We are a team at Turf Moor. Surely to God, we have got to go through to the quarters, and with the goal from Amdouni in the 74th minute, that's exactly where we're going. And look who we've got in the quarters, man. PSG. They've already actually beaten us this season, so let's hope this isn't a repeat of that. We are a team at Turf Moor in the first leg. Burnley, don't let me down. Benson in the 83rd minute. We've got an advantage going into the second leg. Let me tell you something. I'll happily take a draw away from home against PSG. Oh my god, that's exactly what we get. Rafinha and Maddison. We are in the semi-finals with Burnley, boys. And in the semi-finals, it's Atalanta. And I'm not being funny. We should absolutely demolish these guys. We are away from home in the first leg. I'm pretty confident that we can pull off a decent result. Don't you dare. No, don't you dare. Don't you even think about it. I have not come all the way to the semi-finals to get knocked out by bloody Atalanta. Burnley get a... Oh, thank God for that. On my life, I genuinely thought we were going to get knocked out there. That would be the most Godwin thing to happen. But we didn't get knocked out. We have battered Atalanta 3-0 at home, 4-2 on aggregate, and we are in the Champions League final. And that's where we'll face Borussia Dortmund. I'm not going to lie to you, they've given me some problems in the past. This is going to be a difficult game. We're heading over to the Prem. We finished 9th in the league, man. I do not have a goddamn clue what's happened to us in the Prem. All I know is we've done far better in Europe than we've done in the league somehow. And we only made it to round 3 of the Carabao Cup before losing to Shrewsbury on penalties. Bloody Shrewsbury. Like, honestly. But when you look at the stats, you'd assume we've done way better than 9th in the league. But regardless of all that, you've got to admit, boys, this is an absolutely phenomenal Burnley team we've assembled. The likes of 89 rated Maddison, 90 rated Ruben Diaz, 91 rated Amdouni, and 93 rated Zarori once again in FC 24. This guy is an absolute monster. And up to this point, we've done pretty well with Burnley. We won the Premier League, the Community Shield, both Europa League and the Conference League, but now we've got the chance to win the biggest one of all of them, the Champions League. Adeyemi's on the ball. This is one player we got to watch out for, man. Kareem the Dream is so goddamn good. Oh, this is what I mean, man. Oh my days, we've got one goal down already. Are you joking me? Just as I was saying we need to close him down, he basically hands Dortmund a goal there. Julian Brandt as well, for God's sake. That is not the start we were after. We didn't even touch the ball, man. Amdouni is on the ball now. We're looking for that run from Zarori. We found it. Maddison inside. Maddison sees Rafinha. Rafinha. Oh my days, Rafinha! What are you playing at? I could do better than that, and I'm a fat get. Maddison's on the ball now. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. Rafinha, time for redemption, lad. Come on, make this 1-1. There you go. That's way better. I think he heard me when I said I could do better than him. Great bit of play there from Maddison. He picks it up. He's already in behind. All he needs to do is slot it home, and that's exactly what he did. Miranda's on the ball now. This guy can move. Look at him go. Oh, my days. He's passed it to Zarori. Zarori, come in. There we go. That's beautiful. Oh, my days. I think he's offside as well. That would have been so good. Bano Gaten's on the ball early in the second half. I mean, Tino Livramento's on his case, but bloody hell, he's quick. Oh, that's a great tackle from Livramento. Dortmund are pushing forward here. Oh, no way. Oh, what a save from Unai Simon, man. Oh, that's a beautiful touch. Oh, my days, we're through here. 2-1 on the ball. 2-1 is certainly on the cards. What a frigging goal. Great ball from Maddison. Amdouni takes it down, goes past the defenders and wallops that into the back of the net. Oh no, Adeyemi's through. Adeyemi's through. Bring the keeper out, don't dink me. Oh, what a save from Unai Simon. We might need to make another save just yet. And he does. Oh my God. Ref blew the damn whistle, for God's sake. This has got to be the last kick of the game, man. Surely to God. Get that away, for the love of God, and clear it once more. Surely that's it. And it is. Burnley have beaten Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final 2-1 on the NAD, and we've made Burnley the best team in the world. It did take us long enough though, 6 seasons to do it, man. The team we inherited wasn't that good, but in the end we turned it into a monster. And if you are still here, thank you so much for watching this video, but if you enjoyed that, you should definitely click here to watch me rebuild Stoke City with free agents only.